I think I am allowed to respectfully differ, especially on the second item. But let me begin with the first one, that the competency-based approach is asking for changes in many ways. It is asking for not something new, but something that has always been there, but we do not do. For example, in the competency-based approach, and anybody who has a child will know that children are being given a lot more space. When we were teaching education, we'd say we wanted a learner-centered pedagogy. That has not started now. It's always been there. And so because of this, there are tensions that do with change, and we appreciate them, and we will continue communicating and persuading people, negotiating that they give the system a chance. And that is something that I think we are all very committed to. Other issues can be dealt with issues of changes in attitude and with more training and capacity building. And that is, for example, the whole aspect of expense. If we did what we have always been suggesting in our training, and that is what we are doing now, especially if you go to our pre-service teacher training centers, we have 32 of them that are offering diploma for people who will come to teach in the primary and early years education. If you went there, there is a lot of emphasis on creativity of the teacher to use what is around them. And if that happened, then you'd see that we would delimit what you're asking parents to do. It is an easier option to ask, bring. It requires effort to be creative, and it is something that we can learn to do. So expenses in education is something that we are dealing with, and we are all the public primary schools now have digital gadgets, including projectors. So where you cannot touch something, because it is important for you to use all your senses when you're learning. You must see, hear, do, and touch. That is important. But where you cannot touch, because it is too expensive, we are asking teachers, use the projector, which is in schools. So that is something that we are addressing. But is it not innovative? I think that would be... I will probably need to look for this aspirant so that we can have a discussion on why we must go the competency-based approach. What has happened in the previous approaches we have had is that because they have sort of been examination-oriented, they mainly focused on knowledge. And knowledge is good, but it is not enough. You need to be able to move to another step, to be able to translate that knowledge to action. And that is where competency comes. So competencies is about combining what you know with what you are able to do as per the milestones. Secondly, you cannot just do without bringing in thinking. And so creativity is a very big element. You cannot be an innovator if you are not creative. You cannot be creative if you are not thinking. So they move hand in hand. So if we want innovation, you have to start from the very beginning. And it begins with asking questions. If you go to a CBC classroom today, it is a very active place because there is thinking going on. And the third thing, which I will have to talk about because many do not talk about it, is that there is the emphasis on competencies, emphasis on creativity, and also emphasis on character. Because if you are doing all these things, but you are not what we will call a good child, a child who can be respected, who is respectful, who is honest, all this will come to naught. Is that not a good direction to go for?
It is a good direction. And we